Hello students, in continuation with the earlier class, that is reflection of light part 1. So I am taking further. So in the last class we are discussing about number of images formed between two inclined mirrors. So I told you the formula, that is if two mirrors are inclined, the number of images is 360 by theta, depending on 360 by theta. If it is even, what happens, odd happen, what happens, we are discussed. Here n equal to 360 by theta, and if 360 by theta is even, if 360 by theta is even, then number of images formed is always n minus 1. N minus 1, that is number of images equal to n minus 1 we can take. And object where it is placed, anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. If the object is placed anywhere between the mirrors, and if 360 by theta is even, then you have to subtract 1 from that one. Okay. Now, next one, n equal to 360 by theta, and 360 by theta is odd. 360 by theta is odd. And what is the number of images formed? Number of images will be n minus 1 if the object is placed on the angle bisector. I will explain this one so that you can have clear idea. Okay, the second part I'm going to explain you. Now see here, I'm taking two mirrors which are inclined at 120 degrees. At 120 degrees. And this is the angle bisector. This is the angle bisector. Okay. Now if the object is placed here on the angle bisector, if the object is placed, first image due to this one will be formed here. Okay. The second image, so you have to take what here, the perpendicular one here. This is the image formed here. And the image of this mirror on this one will be like this. And the image of this one in this mirror will be like this. Now you can see where the images are formed here. Exactly, if you want, I can draw like this here. Here the image is formed here. It is on the line of this one. That is, this is formed on the image of this one. So what happens here? Further images are not possible. The angle is how much here? 120 degrees. As per the formula, n equal to, we can write 360 by 120, which turns out to be 3. But here how many images are formed here? Number of images formed are only 2. There is no scope for a third one. Why? Because it cannot form the image on this mirror, because this is on the line of the mirror. The same thing is with this one. So therefore it is not possible to have further images. So therefore, how many images are formed means you have to write n minus 1. That is 3 minus 1 equal to 2 images are formed. So if the object is placed on the angle bisector and 360 by theta is odd, you have to subtract 1 to get this one. And next one, suppose if the object is not placed on the angle bisector, what happens here? So this I am going to take you so that the third case you can understand clearly here. So this is the angle bisector, right? So I'm keeping the object here. Keeping the object here. So what happens here? The first image due to this one will be formed here. Okay. Now the second image will be formed here, right? So the image of this one will be forming here. The image of this one will be forming here. and this image cannot be seen here. So how many images are formed here? You can see a rectangle is formed here. One, two, three. Three images are formed if the object is off the axis. If the object is off the axis, number of images formed will be 360 by 120, which is equal to 3. Here we are not subtracting 1. Why? Because number of images formed is 3. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. This is the objective O. So, what is the criteria here? Where the object is placed is very important, even if the 360 by theta is odd. So, if 360 by theta is odd and the object is placed on the angle bisector, the image number of images will be even in number. And if it is not placed on the angle bisector, then the number of images will be odd number only. So this is the concept here. I'm writing this one in terms of a table so that you can understand. N equal to 360 by theta. N is even. N is even. Anywhere placed. Object placed anywhere. Then number of images equal to n minus 1. This is a Okay, so n equal 360 by theta. If n is even, anywhere, object placed anywhere, the answer is n minus 1. Okay, next n equal to 360 by theta. If n is odd, placed at a angle bisector. Just now we discussed here. So the number of images will be again n minus 1. In this case, you are going to get even number of images. Next, 360 by theta. If n is odd, placed not on, not means I am writing of the angle bisector, better. Of the angle bisector, then answer will be n only. Number of images formed will be odd number only. So this is you have to keep in mind. For example, if you take a theta equal 360 or 60 degrees, then what happens? N equal to 360 by 60. You are going to get what here? 5. Sorry, you are going to get here what? 6. I'm sorry. So number of images will be here. If it is even, no question, wherever it may be, you have to subtract 1. The answer will be 5. Okay. Suppose if you keep 72. 72. So what happens here? N equal to 360 by 72. You are going to get what here? 5. But here the question is where the object is placed. If the object is placed on the angle bisector, 5 minus 1, 4 only appears. And if it is placed off the angle bisector, the answer will be 5 only. So this is the criteria of inclined mirrors and a number of images formed here. So this you should keep in mind. So simply 360 by theta, and if it is odd, keep it as it is. If it is even, subtract 1. That is the old criteria. But here you have to keep in mind that where the object is placed, whether it is placed on the angle bisector or off the bisector is the criteria you have to keep in mind. Okay. Now let us move on to reflection on curved mirrors. So reflection on curved mirrors is means we are going to take up first of all how many types of curved mirrors are there. So this is a one spherical ball, spherical hollow ball. Okay. Now if this one is polished on the inner side and coated on the outside. polished on the inner side and coated on the outside, then this becomes what here, whatever the case that you cut, you are going to get this type of figure, which is called as here concave mirror. Why it is called concave? Because there is a cave is there, hence it is called as what here, concave mirror. So outside is coated, inside is polished. This is called as a concave mirror. Okay. Now in the same hollow glass ball, if outside is polished and inside is coated, then whatever that get is called as, this is called as here convex mirror. So curved mirrors are two types. One is concave mirror. This is called what here? Convex mirror. Right? Now let us move on to the basic characteristics or the main terminology used in this mirrors, so that we can proceed further here. Because these terms are very important. Otherwise, we cannot understand the image positions, etc. here. Okay. Now I'm taking for concave mirror, but the same terminology holds good for convex also here. So let us consider this is a one convex mirror, right? So first one that you have to explain is called here pole. Pole means here the center of the mirror is called as a pole. This point is called as what here? Pole of the mirror. The center of the mirror is called what here? Pole here. Okay. Second one, center of curvature. Center of curvature. Just now I told you it was taken from out of what here, a sphere. So every sphere has one center. So this C is called what here? Center of curvature. So what is the definition? The center of the sphere in which the mirror is a part is called as center of curvature. The center of the sphere in which mirror is a part is called as what here? Center of curvature. Right? Now, third one is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. The distance between C and P, that is center of curvature and pole, is called as what here? Radius of curvature. This distance is called what here? Radius of curvature. Fourth one is called principal axis. Principal axis. So the line joining the center of curvature and a pole of the mirror is termed as what here? This principal axis. You can extend on either side, which is called as what here? Principal axis. Okay. Fifth one is focus. For example, if a set of parallel beam incident on this mirror, they are going to, after reflection, they are going to form an image or converge at a point on the principal axis, and that one is called as what here? Focus or principal focus. This is in the case of what here? Concave mirror, the rays are converging. Whereas if you take for concave, the rays appears to diverge from this point, appears to diverge. For example, if you take this one, so the rays comes and they reflects like this, but they appears to come from this point, and that point is called as what here? Focus here. Sixth one, focal length. So the distance between pole and focus, is called as what here? Focal length of the mirror. The distance between pole and focus of the mirror is called as what here? Focal length. So these terms are used in the case of concave or convex, but the terms has same meaning here. Okay. So these are the terminology to be used. Then we have the another one, that is a sign convention. So in this ray optics lesson, sign convention plays very important role. Why? Because without sign convention, we cannot able to locate the image position properly here. The sign convention will give you a clear cut idea so where the image is formed, whether it is formed on the left of the mirror, right of the mirror, whether the image is real or virtual, etc., can be understood with the help of this one here. So sign conventions. The first one is here. All distances must be started measuring from pole of the mirror. That means whatever the distance you want to measure, that must be started from the pole. Wherever may be the other point, the starting point must be the pole. From pole onwards, you have to go either left or right. This is the starting point for any measurement. Second one, the distances measured in the direction of incident ray are taken as positive and those opposite to incident ray are taken as negative. The distances measured in the direction of incident ray are taken as positive and those opposite are taken as negative. For example, in this case, if you see the rays are coming from left to right. For example, if you want to measure this radius of curvature, you have to start from the pole and go from pole to C. You are going from right to left, but the rays are coming from left to right. Means you are going against the rays, means the radius of curvature is negative. Similar in the case of the focal length. So the rays are coming from left to right, but you are measuring the focal length from right to left, means focal length is negative. So focal length and radius of curvature of concave mirror is negative. And if you take for convex, they are going to be positive. If you remember, I have drawn the figure. So this is the what here? This is the mirror. The rays are coming from right to left. And you are measuring from P. This is F, this is C. So this is F small f here. This is what here? Radius of curvature, which are in the direction of this what here? The incident rays. Hence, for this one, F is negative, but here F is positive. The focal length is positive. Third one, the heights measured above the principal axis are taken as positive and below the principal axis are taken as negative here. You just imagine that this is the horizontal level or zero level. Above zero, all are positive. Below zero, all are negative. So principal axis you considered as a zeroth level. Therefore, above zero are positive, below zero are negative. So what I can say here, the heights measured above the principal axis are positive and the heights measured below the principal axis are taken as negative here. So these three sign conventions are followed in this lesson in order to locate the position of the object and image clearly. Okay, so these are very, very important sign conventions. Once again, I'm repeating. First one is what here? All distances must be started measuring from pole of the mirror. Second one, the distances measured in the direction of incident ray are taken as positive and those opposite to incident ray direction are taken as negative. Third one, the heights measured above the principal axis are taken as positive and the heights measured below the principal axis are taken as negative. So these are the sign conventions we must follow. Okay, let us move on to the relation between this focal length and radius of curvature. So I'm going to show f equal to r by 2. That is focal length is half of the radius of curvature, right? So for that I'm taking this is a one concave mirror of focal length f here, right? So this is C and this is F. A ray of light comes here. Any ray parallel to the principal axis always passes through the focus. And this is a center from where we can draw normal to any point here. So this is I, this is also I here. Okay, so this I am calling as what here? Alpha, this I am calling as what here? beta, or alpha also becomes what here I only, because this is I, this is also I here. So this I'm calling as what here theta beta. So this is M I'm calling, this is P actually, I'm dropping a perpendicular P dash. And in this lesson, we all take what here mirrors of smaller aperture. What do you mean by aperture? The diameter of the mirror is called as aperture. Diameter of the mirror is called aperture. Means from here to here, the length is called as aperture. Small aperture mirrors are taken, and we always take paraxial rays. What do you mean by paraxial rays here? So two types of rays are used here. Paraxial rays means the rays which are very close to principal axis are called as paraxial rays. The rays which are away from principal axis are taken as marginal rays. But in this lesson, always we take only paraxial rays into consideration, keeping in view what we can say. If this line is very nearer to this one, this perpendicular means this P dash will coincide with P. So these two points can be taken as same in all our considerations here. And from F to P, what is it called here? F. And from C to P dash, it is called as what here? Radius of curvature R. Okay, from this figure, what we can write here? Okay, so this is a one triangle is there. So theta equal to what I can write here? Theta equal to 2i I can write. So both sides, if you write tan theta, and tan theta, when theta is small, sorry, when theta is small, so what we can write here, tan theta equal to theta, or theta equal to tan theta. So therefore, tan theta equal to what we can write here from the figure, I can write mp dash by fp dash, and tan I equal to, I can write mp dash by cp dash. Substitute here in this one, what you are going to get here, mp dash by fp dash equal to 2 times of mp dash by cp dash. Mp dash cancel, f1 by fp dash is what here, 1 by f. So I can write this is equal to 2, and cp dash is what here, r. So what I am getting here, f equal to r by 2. That means focal length of concave mirror is equal to half of the radius of curvature. Not only for this one, it is also applicable for convex mirror also, but we have proved this one for concave mirror. So the focal length of concave mirror is equal to half of the radius of curvature. Okay, so this is the derivation. We got the relation that f equal to r by 2, right? Now, moving on to another important part of this one, that is called as a mirror equation. So, though in an intermediate textbook the derivation was somewhat tricky, here we are going to take up in a simple way to understand this one. Okay. So 1 by v plus 1 by u equal 1 by f. This is the mirror equation where u is called object distance and v is called here image distance. Okay. Now I'm taking here again a concave mirror. Okay. So this is a concave mirror. AB I'm taking. This is the pole, right? So this is a C. Here an object is kept here. This is object. A ray goes from here and you have to draw another line from this one so that the angle can be measured. This is I. And after reflection, it goes here. Here the image will be formed, O and E. Okay, so this is also I, right? Because angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Always the line drawn from the C will be normal to the spherical mirror, right? Now, This I am calling as alpha, this I am calling as beta, this I am calling as gamma, this I am calling as m, and dropping a perpendicular, calling this as a p dash. As I told you, this p dash and p will coincide for paraxial rays. And you know, O to p dash is called what here u. This is called object distance. And I to p dash is called image distance v, right? And C to P dash is called what here? The radius of curvature R. Okay, right. So from the triangles I'm taking here. So in this triangle, you can take OMC. In triangle OMC, beta equal what I can write? It is an exterior angle equal to sum of the two opposite interior angles. Triangle OCM. What I can write here? Beta equal to alpha plus I. And in triangle, this one. In triangle, what I can write? CIM. Triangle CIM. What is gamma equal to? It is beta plus I. Okay. Now you subtract. What I'm going to do here? Beta minus alpha. Subtracting beta minus alpha. So what happens here? I cancel out. And the right side we are going to get alpha minus beta. Alpha minus beta. This is gamma. I'm sorry. So this bring gamma other side, beta this side. So what you're going to get here? Alpha plus gamma equal to 2 beta. Alpha plus gamma equal to 2 beta. Again, I'm repeating for small aperture mirrors for paraxial rays. Small aperture and paraxial rays. Alpha is approximately equal to tan alpha. So tan alpha equal what I can write here? MP dash by OP dash, and beta is approximately equal to tan beta. Tan beta means what I can write? MP dash by CP dash, and gamma equal to tan gamma, that is IP dash by, I'm sorry, MP dash by IP dash. Write these values here. First one alpha, that is MP dash by OP dash plus MP dash by CP dash equal to 2 times, I'm sorry, this is IP dash, better because gamma is there. MP dash by IP dash equal to 2 times of MP dash by this is CP dash. So MP dash cancel out. 1 by OP dash. OP dash is what? U. And IP dash is what? V. And this one I'm writing, this is U, this is V, and this is what? CP dash is what here? R. But you know, we want 1 by F. But just now I derived that F equal to R by 2. So implies what here? It is 1 by F. Means we got the relation as 1 by V plus 1 by U equal to 1 by F. So this is the expression we got here. But while using this equation, you must be very careful to use the sign convention, because I did not use the sign convention here. Even if you use sign convention, again you are going to get the same. Why? You know, U is what here? Object distance measured left to the incident rays. V also measure left to the incident rays. R also measured left to the incident rays. Means if I use sign convention here, minus sign I am get, here minus sign I am get, here minus sign I am going to get. Again they are going to cancel out. We get the same relation. So it doesn't matter here if you use sign convention or not. But in the problems while using this formula, you must be very careful that sign convention to be used. In general, the object distance will be always negative. Object distance will be always negative. And image distance, depending on the position, it varies. And the second thing that you have to keep in mind is here, always don't attribute any sign to the quantity that you are going to find. For example, you are given U and V and asked to find F. Even if it is mentioned, you don't attribute any sign to the F, because in the formula itself, you are going to get the f value negative or positive. If you get negative, it is a concave. If you get positive, it is what here going to be convex here. And if you are given f and u and asked to find v, don't attribute any sign to v. In the formula and final answer, you will get v negative. If you get negative, it is what here on the left of the mirror. If you get positive, it is on the right of the mirror. That is the only thing you have to keep in mind. But don't attribute any sign, don't apply any sign to the given quantity or finding quantities initially. They are going to be they are going to become during the solving of the problem. Okay, so this is what here mirror equation. Then I'm going to give you another one that is called as a magnification. So what is magnification? To understand magnification, I'm going to draw another figure. I think this is a simple method to calculate derive 1 by mirror equation rather than taking some quantities, other quantities, taking A, B, C, D, etc. here. It's a very simple one. You can make it over. So magnification. First of all, what is meant by magnification? Generally, a mirror can give you the image of the object depending on its position that we are going to discuss later. It may give image which may be bigger in size, sometimes smaller in size, may be real, may be virtual, may be erected, may be inverted. That is depending on the position of the object and nature of the mirror here. So whether that means the magnification value may be greater than 1 if the size is bigger than object, may be less than 1 if the size is less than 1 here, size is less than 1. Okay, so I'm going to give you the definition of this one, and for that I'm drawing another figure. Now in this figure, you can see this is a concave mirror of focal length F and radius of curvature R. This is center of curvature. This is focus. OJ is an object of height h naught placed on the principal axis. And two rays are taken, one ray parallel to principal axis passing through what here? Focus. Another ray striking at what here? The pole, which reflects making same angle. These two angles must be same because angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Now, wherever they intersect, you are going to get the image. IG is the image of this one. Its height is HI. Now, from the figure, this is perpendicular, this is perpendicular. So, these two angles and these two angles are same. Automatically, this angle and this angle will be same. So, what I mean to say is here, a triangle OJP and IGP are similar. Triangles OJP and IGP are similar. Similar means the ratio of the corresponding sides are equal. So what I can write here H naught by HI equal to. So if you use sign convention, H naught is above the principal axis, HI is below the principal axis. So I'm putting a sign HI. So that means if you write like this, what here OJ by IG equal to OP by IP, I'm writing. OJ means H naught, IG means minus H naught by using sign convention. OP means what here? Object distance, which is minus, and IP is what here? Image distance, which is also minus. So we can also represent that. This is V, and this is what here? U I can take, right? So minus minus cancel out, and if I want Hi by H naught equal to, I'm going to get like this, minus V by U. This is called as what here? M, the magnification. So what is the definition of M? M equal to height of image by height of object. How do you find this one? How do you find mean? This is the formula. M equal to, as per definition, this is Hi by H naught, which is equal to minus V by U, right? So how do you get this M value in terms of F and V? So that also we can get here. Suppose we have the formula like this: 1 by V plus 1 by U equal to 1 by F. So if you want in terms of U, you have to eliminate V here. So multiply both sides with by U. So what do you get here? U by V plus 1 equal to U by F. Multiply both sides by U. So this becomes what here? U by V equal to, we get what here? Minus 1 by M plus 1 equal to U by F, right? So bring this one. So 1 by M equal to what we get here? 1 minus U by F. Then 1 by M equal to F minus U by F, means M equal to F by F minus U. That means focal magnification in terms of focal length and U. Suppose if you want in terms of V and F, you multiply both sides by multiply both sides this equation with V. So what do you get here? 1 plus V by U equal to V by F. But V by U is what here? Minus M. So 1 minus M equal to V by F. M equal to, I can write what here? 1 minus V by F. So M equal to F minus V by F. Okay, so you can see the formulas here: M equal to F by F minus U, or M equal to F minus V by F here. So these are the magnification formulas can be used, and here I haven't used this one sign conventions here. You can use sign conventions while using the formulas here. Okay, so this is the magnification of what here? Concave mirror, and also its relations here, right? So this is about mirror equation and magnification. Next, image formed by concave mirror. First one, object is at infinity. If the object is at infinity, what happens here? The rays comes parallel. The rays comes parallel, and after coming to this one, they are going to converge at a point which is the focus. That means when the object is at infinity, the image formed at a focus, which is real, inverted, and point sized, highly diminished here, very small in size here. Okay, so this is the first one. Second one, object is placed beyond C. If the object is placed beyond C, what I told you, you draw two lines, one parallel to principal axis, after reflection passes through focus here, another um, it should touch what here? The pole. So this is the image here. This is the object. This is the image. So where it is formed here? So it is formed here. It is formed at F. Here it is formed but here between C and F. It is a real, inverted, and diminished means small in size. Small in size here. Okay. This is second one. Third one. It is placed at C. If it is placed at C, this is object, this is image. So if you place the object at C, the image will be formed at C. It is real, inverted, and same size. Real, inverted, and same size. Real, inverted, and same size. The fourth one. So this is C. This is F. Object is placed here. So this is object, this is image. If the object is placed between C and F, image will be formed beyond C, which is real, inverted, and magnified. You can see compared to this one, this is somewhat bigger. So image is bigger than object when the object lies between C and F. Okay. Now coming to the, this is fourth one. Coming to fifth one. Object is placed at focus. You can see these are the parallel lines coming here. So parallel lines where they are going to meet here, they are going to meet at infinity. So therefore what I can say here, when object is placed at the focus, the image will be formed at infinity. Image will be formed at infinity, right? Now the last one, which is very important here. So this is F here, an object is placed here. So this is the object here. So again the same method. So first of all, a ray comes here like this. So what happens here? Here the image is formed. You can see I represented with a dotted line. So this is a virtual image. This is a virtual image here. And it is, you can see, formed behind the mirror. Formed behind the mirror. It is bigger than object. So it is virtual and erected. You can see object and image will be on the same side, upright position. So it is virtual, erected, and highly magnified. Virtual, erected, and highly magnified, formed behind the mirror. Formed behind the mirror when the object is placed between F and P. If the object is placed between F and P, this is going to be happen. So this is the principle used by dentists. Normally, dentist uses this mirror to find the flaw in our teeth whenever you go to dentist here. And also shaving mirror also uses the same phenomena here. Okay, so these are the five positions of concave mirror. So it can form real images, virtual images. It can form inverted images, erected images. It can form diminished images, also magnified images here. So keep this in mind, very, very important here. Okay. Now coming to the next topic, that is the final topic of this reflection, that is image formed by convex mirror. If the object is at infinity, for example, object is placed at infinity, so the rays comes parallel. So after reflection, they appears to diverge from this one, and you can see a virtual image is formed at the focus. So if the object is at infinity, image formed at a focus which is very small, that means point sized. So it is what here? Virtual, erected, and highly diminished in size when the object is at infinity. Keep this in mind, very important. Now, the second one I'm going to take up is here. Object is placed here. Object is placed here. So what happens here? First ray you draw like this. This will be as it is. Sorry. And second one you take like this. So you extrapolate this one. So this is the image. So where the image is formed, if the object lies, this is point P, object between P and infinity. If the object is between P and infinity, where the image is formed here, image formed between F and P. What is the nature of the image here? It is virtual, erected, and diminished. That means size is small, always small. So remember, as the object comes closer, this image going to increase. That means if I, for example, if I take further close, what happens here? If I take the image like this, very close. So this is a focus. And you can see the image size increases. That means as the object comes closer, the image size increases. But here, minimum size is point size, maximum size is going to be that of the size of the object, but does not greater than that one. So it cannot give a magnified image. I always image size will be less than or equal to object size. That is the final one. So what I can say for convex mirror, wherever may be the object, the image always lies between focus and pole behind the mirror, and it is virtual, erected, and diminished. So if the object is at infinity, image will be at the focus. If the object lies between infinity and pole, the image will be formed between focus and pole, which is like this here. Okay, so this makes the completion of this reflection part on curved mirrors here. I hope you understand what I said. Thank you for watching my video.